Hey everyone, I'm out here at Broome Tioga Sports Center. This is the first Hillbilly Bog event that they've had out here that Upstate4x4.com has attended. I guess it's their 4th annual, if I'm correct, Hillbilly Bog, and the first time they've really pushed their trails. They had a pretty good attendance this weekend so far, just for the trail system, not for anything else. The thing that's cool about this situation is that they offer trails. They also, from a spectator standpoint, you get to go out on the trails for $10 a vehicle, not per person, $10 a vehicle. Okay, you pay $10 a person per day, but you can get discounts if you stay the weekend. But you also get something to do. You get to watch hill drags, you get to watch mud drags, you get to watch autocross, which if you haven't seen that, that's pretty cool. It's a bunch of junk cars racing on an off-road course, jumping and everything. You get to see trophy carts and UTVs, quads. There's a lot going on out here that you get to see as a spectator too. So you're getting a spectator event with the option to go run on the trails all day, even all day and all night, to be honest. Even though the schedule shows it from a certain point, that's not accurate. You can run out on these trails all day, all night if you want to. So anyway, I'm on the trail. It's not an extreme trail by any means. If I had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 5, I would say that it's probably about a 3. Okay, maybe, I'd say about a 3. I'd say mid-level. You can come out here with a stock vehicle. You're going to need a little bit of ground clearance. You're not going to get through here very easily with some all-season tires. I have some pretty worn-out all-terrains, and I made it through every section but one, but there was a bypass, and it was just simply because it was too muddy. I couldn't get enough traction. So there was a lot of mud on the trail this weekend. Some of it created, some of it was just natural. Lot of tight areas in the trees. Nothing real technical other than maneuvering through the trees without tearing up your truck. There's an extremely small rock section out here. It's not even worth playing on. I mean, I did a little bit, me and my buddies did, but it's one of those things where you go play on it for about a half hour or so, and then you're pretty much done. So we're pulling up to the section. I'm actually going backwards, if you guys can see these arrow markers. It's pretty early in the morning. It's about 7:45 in the morning. Nobody's really up. They were up with the band until I don't know what hours of the night. And I went and crashed out because I didn't get any sleep last night at all, or the night before at all. I was working on my truck. So I got to be real careful out here doing this. I'm having problems with my truck. Transmission's slipping really bad. I think I broke something in the front end. And that's not a testament to how difficult the trail is. My truck's it's been taking a beating the last couple times I had gone out off-roading, and I just really needed to take care of a few things that didn't get addressed. So now it's telling me it's time. So there's a lot of these sections like this where the trail's just cutting through the hills and the grass. This is where you're going to typically find your mud. Okay. Right now I'm in 2-wheel drive. I'm trying to avoid going into 4-wheel drive because something's broken in the front end. I could hear it clunking. So, and it only does it when I'm in 4-wheel drive, so maybe I broke a bearing or something. I don't know, maybe a CV joint in the independent front suspension's taking a crap on me. I caused all the damage playing on the rocks. I couldn't help myself. I had to try it. There was a lot of activity from quads on the trail. Couple of UTVs out here. There's actually one of the tough trucks was out here, and I'm not talking about one of those crappy ones. This was a real high dollar tough truck that was out here tearing around on these trails like it was no big deal. But his truck's also built to handle a whole hell of a lot more abuse than mine is. And I'm sure most of your trucks as well. I don't know how far I'm going to go on the trail. If I get into any situations where I'm really having to push the truck hard, I'm going to probably turn around and go back. Just because I don't want to have any issues, any more mechanical issues. So I'm trying to give you guys a bit of an idea of what to expect out here. Hopefully we'll get back into the trees real soon and you guys can see that. Because that's really the fun part for me on the trail, is going through the trees, because you really got to get your lines right or you're going to cause damage to the body. We did talk to the owner of the facility about removing a couple trees, just because, you know, I got a Nissan Pathfinder, a 1991 Nissan Pathfinder, which is actually significantly smaller than full-size vehicles. So you come up here in a full-size Chevy Blazer or something like that, or a, you know, F-250 or something along those lines, and you're going to have some problems. Let's see if I can get enough traction to get up this in two-wheel drive. That would be a no. Okay, let me adjust my camera. I got to get my shifter right here. Might be able to hear the front end popping. I've got manual hubs on my truck, so I just leave them locked up, which is interesting because with them locked up, it's spinning the axles and the drive line, and I don't hear the popping. It's only when I have it in four-wheel drive on the transfer case that I'm hearing it. So maybe what it is my drive line. Maybe I heard something in the U-joint or something. Who knows? Maybe I landed on it. I got to get under there and really look at it and see what's going on. Okay, let me get it back out of four-wheel drive real quick. You know, like I said, this is not anything real extreme. There was a rock buggy out here, and he walked through this. He did find going through the trees pretty challenging, but he still walked through it pretty easily. So, you know, if you're one of those guys and you got a pretty extreme vehicle, and I don't mean, you know, I don't mean your typical Jeep with a long arm kit on it. You know, I'm talking about a full-on rock buggy type thing. You know, this might get boring for you, just because you're going to just easily walk through this stuff. But anybody with a regular street vehicle that's been modified for off-road purposes, you'll have fun out here. You'll definitely have fun out here, especially with the ability to just go and keep going and just have as much fun as you can all weekend. You know, that's kind of a cool thing. It's not often that we get out in places like this and play. And it's a long trail. It's about 5 miles. So we'll just keep recording as long as I can, and I'll stay on the trail as long as I can, and that's it. I'm hoping a lot of the mud is dried up and I'll be able to get through this trail. Okay, here's a little mud. I'm going to try to go around. Okay, we're getting back into the trees again. This is pretty much the backside of their property. I don't know where the actual property line goes, but it's not too far. I'm guessing it's right here where those trees are, these two trees right here. And then I think it's whoever's house is over there. I think that's their property. But going this way, they've got a lot of land. And apparently over there where they do the tough trucks and the races and whatnot, there's some pretty extreme stuff over there that they're considering building trails through. So again, here we go. We got a pretty nice descent, but I'm going backwards, so this would be an ascent normally. And you can see the trees actually get even more narrow than this. So you just kind of work your way through slowly. Try not to bounce off any trees. It's a little bit of articulation situations going on in here. So for those that have stock vehicles that don't have a lot of articulation, this stuff could get a little bit difficult for you. Just not anything that's going to throw you so far off camber where you think you're going to flip over or anything. It's just a traction issue, you know, because normally you'd be going up this, and there's a little bit of articulation situation going on. If you don't have the flex, then what's going to happen is you're just going to start spinning tires. So that wasn't even as close as it gets. That was actually pretty mild. It actually gets a little bit tighter than that, actually a lot tighter. Throwing mud inside the truck. Losing traction. Let me get a little bit of a run at this. This is the area where I couldn't get through. It's very sloppy. I'm gonna just cut through here and I'll show you, because like I said, I'm going backwards on the trail, and I'll show you. Basically it looked the same as what I was just trying to go through. You could where the hell's the trail? There we go. Back up, give you a better view. It's very, very slick. Okay, if that was dry, you just drive right up it, no big deal. But it's very, very slick. And I just, with no mud tires, I couldn't get up. It wasn't happening. So, that was the only spot that I had issues with. So, let's keep going. Get out of four-wheel drive again. I don't know why that area is so significantly slicker than the rest. Maybe it's a different type of mud. Not sure. I know we're getting into some deeper mud, so hopefully I can just walk through it without stressing the truck out too much. These guys did a lot of work out here to get these trails ready for us. It was much appreciated, because for the price, I really don't think that you can beat it here in New York. Unless you got a buddy with land, or, you know, anyways. You know, I don't know what's going on over here. There's like some deep kind of creek type thing. I actually hear water running through it. That might be one of those things where we could talk to the owner if we can gain access to that for the more extreme vehicles. That would be kind of cool. By the way, when I'm grading this trail, I'm doing it off of what I'm used to. This is the first time I've gone four-wheeling here in New York. I'm grading this off of what I've seen in Arizona and what I've seen online and what other people do. A 5 in my book would be like sheer rock cliffs, King of the Hammer, backdoor type craziness, rock waterfalls. You know, even the most extreme of the extreme is gonna have a problem getting through there. Okay, let me get some four-wheel drive going on here. So just keep that in mind when you're considering my ranking of this trail. See, this is what I'm talking about as far as tightness is concerned. You know, it starts getting real tight in some of these areas. It actually gets even tighter than that, to be honest. Get back out of four-wheel drive. Hopefully I'll be able to make it home without any major issues. Luckily I've got a buddy that was out here with me yesterday that knows that I'm going to be limping this thing home. And he's got a trailer, so worst comes to worst, I'll give him a call and shoot him some gas money and have him come get me. For those that are entry-level four-wheelers, you know, recovery is very important. I can't even express that to you guys. Make sure you got proper recovery gear. Make sure you got a plan set forth to make sure that you could always get home. Some of you guys like driving out to Roush Creek which is, you know, a renowned off-road facility. I'm from the West Coast and I know about Roush Creek. I knew about it when I was living there, but Roush Creek's got some pretty extreme stuff. And for those of you guys that are just going out there just because it's Roush Creek and planning on taking it easy, that don't make any sense to me. But for those of you guys that have that mentality, just keep in mind that this stuff's a little bit on the addicting side, and once you get going, you might take a chance that maybe you shouldn't have taken and break something. And you need to have a plan set forth to make sure that you get home. You know, the plus side to this facility right here is it is legitimately a racetrack. We'll get into that racetrack area here pretty soon, but it's one of those things where if you break out here, you're at least going to get it to to the parking lot where you can get a tow truck to come get you, come get you out of here. They've got tractors and stuff out here to help recover you if something bad happens. I can't see the markers, but I think I'm supposed to go this way. Yeah, actually all this area right here was that I went through was a lot muddier yesterday than it is today. It's still muddy, but not nearly as bad. By the way, I don't know if you're not going to be able to see into this area very good, but all this wooded area over here to my left, I believe they own that property as well. And there's actual trails going back in through there because they do some motocross events back through there, or they have in the past. You know, I'm going to encourage them to cut, like specifically this area right here where it's just kind of real mild type situation. I'm going to really encourage them to cut trails all the way through those trees, because that would be to me a much more fun experience, a lot more technical. And they could always have this side over here for, you know, the people that are a little bit worried about tearing up their trucks, but at least give us a little bit more of an extreme situation by cutting us through those trails would be nice. Very rutted up. You can get through it though with four-wheel drive or some seriously nasty mud tires. Okay, so this little area over here to my right, this is the open mud pit. Okay, let me roll down my window, I'll give you guys a better idea. For those that are into that, just a big mud hole type situation, go mudding. I'm not into that crap at all. And it wasn't complete chaos for those that worry about that kind of stuff. I guess it's a big problem out here. It really wasn't. There was only a few people that really found it a necessary thing to go play in that thing. So most everybody was on the trail or watching the races or participating in the races. Mud a little bit, take some of the stress off my truck. if I'll be able to get traction enough to cut across here, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, piece of cake. Like I said, this stuff's a lot drier than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a big sloppy mess. Get out of four-wheel drive again. We're getting ready to get on at least part of the motocross track. Now you'll be able to see here in the distance, that's the main motocross track. Okay, a lot of the people are camping down there by the main building. I don't know if you're able to see the food and drink sign down there on the main building. That's a restaurant slash bar that's open all the time. Well, not all the time, not like 24 hours a day, but it's open like every day. There's a lot of activity down there. There's a stage over there where they had a band that was playing pretty late. We chose to camp completely away from everybody else. We're like way up here, okay, by a pond. So, like I said, I didn't get no sleep the night before, so it was important for me to get plenty of sleep because I was having a pretty rough day yesterday. Interesting, one of my buddies, I don't see his rig. I see his tent, but I don't see his rig. I wonder where the hell that's at. Maybe they went in. I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Oh well. I'll figure it out when I get down there. Throw a bunch of shit on my arm. And for those that are worried about fuel and stuff like that, I don't know if they sell any fuel here on the facility, but there's a town not very far away from the track, a small town that you guys can get to and get more fuel if you start having fuel issues. You know, like I said, it's a 5-mile trail, and you got all weekend. You can eat up some fuel out here. Sorry about the camera shaking like that. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because I know we're like 30 minutes in already. I don't know how much memory I have to be able to continue to do this video. So here's where we get back onto the motocross track, and we end up going way up this hill over here and get into a very wooded area up there. Keep in mind, when I started filming, I was already pretty far into the trail. So up at the top of this hill, you get back into it. I might cut across some of this to get back into the trees quicker. Should I try that? That's a fucking steep hill and I don't want to go into four-wheel drive. I can cut across here. The hell with it. Oh! That was a jump. This hill that I'm dropping down, they had watered. Very, very muddy. Very, very muddy. It's obviously a lot drier now. But it was kind of fun trying to climb up it. The dirt bikes have a problem getting up this hill. It's pretty steep. And then throw some mud on there and it's a bit of a challenge. I guess it was for me. Again, I don't have mud tires, so. You get a lot of this stuff where you can't see anything, where you're cresting over a hill and you can't see. Okay, now we're getting ready to get into some really tight woods. Okay. Very, very tight woods. To me, this is the funnest section of the entire course. And it's pretty much the first section, and it's just because it's really, really tight. You got to get your lines just right. There's some kind of drop-off type cliffs if you're not careful. Hopefully the camera battery will last long enough to get us through this, or not the battery, but the memory. And hopefully I don't fuck my truck up. See right there, that was really, really tight. If you're in a full-size Blazer, you're gonna have problems there. We got a split in the road. I think I'm supposed to go this way. There's two options. You know what? I'm gonna go the other way. If I can back up. I gotta be real careful here because my transmission's slipping. I can smell it again. Trying to climb up those hills. This right here is a super hairpin turn. Obviously somebody had some issues kind of going off the side of this. I think I know who that is. Again, can't fucking see anything, but I'm going backwards, and going forward you could see pretty good. Oh shit, I think I came the wrong way, because there's a log over here I'm gonna have a problem with. Yeah, maybe I should have went the other way. See, we're right next to the road at this point. Actually, that log, it's got enough build up. I made it over it, no problem. Okay, so you can see I know we got some contrast issues going on here. God, that's a fucking nasty hill. I might bypass it. I don't know. We'll see. This is the main road coming to the complex. If you look over here, my A-pillar's in the way. Let me try to get you a better angle. Right over there, those two grassy areas, that's where they do all the tough truck and the autocross and whatnot. I guess back in the trees over there is still their property, and that's where they got some of the creeks and stuff that they were saying that could be pretty extreme if they cut some trails through there. So yeah, this is fucked up right here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get up this. Definitely a 4-low situation, and it's probably gonna make my transmission slip. Yeah, I'm not going up this. I'm just gonna show you real quick. Maybe I will. No, I'm not going up it. My truck's hurting too much. I need to get home. We'll try going up the other side. This is one of those option lines. You come down this, just kind of, for those that are new at four-wheeling, that might scare the shit out of you. Let me just turn around here now that I got some space. Show you the rest of this part of this trail, so hopefully I can get up this other line without doing any serious damage. He said, I'm having issues with my truck. If I wasn't having issues with my truck, I would have been able to power out of that. I'm just concerned about getting home at this point. Okay, this kind of sucks because I can't see the markers, because again, I'm going backwards. We got multiple lines cut through here, and I'm not sure which is the right one. I think I'm on a quad line, so let me get over here. I can't see out my mirror because it's covered in mud. We got a real tight spot right here, like really tight spot on a cliff that you're gonna be riding a fine line on to avoid hitting this tree. This is one of the trees they just need to flat out remove. This one here. Much done here. Oh fuck, we got some mud. I might bypass that mud pit. That's pretty nasty. So get back on the motocross track over here. This is the start. I don't think there's really any avoiding the mud. Oh, they got the water just flowing. And they still got the water going on here. Okay, let's see if we can get through this without any problems. I'm gonna go back into 4-low just to give myself a little more torque because of my transmission issues. For those that like to splash in the mud and water, that's a really awesome place to do it. At the top of this hill, you got to be real careful. It's a sharp peak for the lower clearance vehicles. Come at that at an angle. And then you go over all these little motocross jumps, and then again, you know, for lower clearance vehicles, go at a bit of an angle to avoid high centering. This one's a deal breaker for those low clearance ones. I got hooked up on this. I wasn't paying attention. Done. Now, normally you wouldn't come across the starting gates over here, but they got that other gate closed because I guess they didn't want anybody out here. Back up to camp and you guys can kind of see that area. Oh, they got me completely blocked off. Let me go open this gate. So I guess I'm not supposed to be on the trail right now. But I got permission from the owner to go camp up here because I wanted to be away from everybody else. So they just have to tolerate me. trail instead of going the route I normally go, just so I can continue to show you guys the trail. This would typically be the end of it if you're going the proper direction.